All right, Randall Hughes with God Glorified, commenting on our reading for January the 13th from Job chapters 35 to 37. And this is continuing the arguments, the statements of Elihu, and just as we go into once again, I just want to share a little bit. He may have been a relative of Abraham. The name Buz, he was called a Buzite. Buz was a descendant of Nahor, Abraham's brother, according to Genesis 22:20 to 21. And he was called a Buzite. At any rate, there also was a man named Ram that was a descendant of David, according to Ruth chapter 4, verses 19 to 22. So it's hard to say just exactly who he was, but seemingly that he's trying to speak on God's behalf, he puts down the other three friends. Doesn't think that they've done a good job of telling Job that he's wrong, he's a sinner, whatever. And yet it seems that Elihu was not condemned when we get to our reading later in the book here. And so it's interesting. Probably in today's reading, the one verse that is one of my favorite probably is, "Behold, God is great, and we know him not." And so that's the challenge that is for all of us, is to seek to know our great God. And there's just something in my heart that says I want to know everything I can about him. And I put together a chart. I will try to get it to you on some key elements. I had a short that I did about a minute worth of 12 foundational truths about God that I think are very interesting. I'm trying to get the PDF of that finalized, and I'll get that posted up there here soon for you to look over and have the verses. So when I say I have over 120 verses that speak of God being one, you'll have those verse references as well as all the references that I use. And not that it's exhaustive necessarily, but there's at least 2 to 3, 4 verses for virtually everything that I say about God, whether he's talking about his omnipresence, omniscience, omnipotence, his immutability. Various passages I think are key statements for you to know and understand about God. And so God is great and we know him not, but I'm going to seek to know him. And I think it behooves all of us to strive to know him and to please him. And so once again, there's just he talks a little bit in 37 about God's work and wonder, but dost thou know God dispose them and causeth the light of his cloud to shine? Do you know when he disposes them, and whatever, how he, the wondrous works of God in verse 14. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and is a molten looking glass? And so there's various passages talking about the greatness of God and the majesty of God, but not a lot of detail in today's reading, not a lot of meat in terms of my evaluation of it, of things that I like to dive into in terms of my study about God. We'll get into that in our next reading. There's some things I'm excited to share with you from some of our upcoming readings as we finish out the book of Job. So that concludes our comments for January the 13th. God bless you. Look forward to more comments, great content coming up in the days ahead. So God bless you.